Good morning, Kids Quest. How are you guys doing today? Man, the weather has been so weird. Do you guys like that cool, cloudy weather? Kind of weird for the beginning of summer, but I'm kind of loving it. It's a good change. All right, you guys, I'm glad you joined us this week. This is week 2 of our new summer series. If you guys didn't have time to view your video from last week, ask your parents or your grandparents or another adult to let you view that today because it was a fun lesson to kick off for summer, and we learned about dolphins. Today we're going to learn about another sea creature that I know some of you guys like, and we'll even have a video in a few minutes of it. But before that, I want to invite Mariah up real quick to help us show us a little visual of what we're going to talk about today. So Mariah, come on all the way up. You want to say good morning?
Good morning.
All right, she sure misses all of you guys, and I know that you guys miss hanging out with each other, but I'm so glad that we get to connect this way. So Mariah brought a few things this morning for our lesson, and what you guys are going to do is you're going to try and guess before she tells you what all of these things have in common. Okay, so we're going to figure out that riddle. All right, first she brought some sunglasses. You want to put those on? You want to model them for us? All right, and she brought some sunscreen. Let's spray some on your arms. Ooh, I better get out of the way. All right, you want some on your other arm? That's all right, one arm is good. So she's got sunscreen, she has sunglasses, she brought her favorite umbrella. Want to put that up? All right, and she brought this huge, heavy, like seriously heavy, life preserver. Want to wear that? All right, so let's look. She has sunglasses, she has sunscreen, an umbrella, and a huge life preserver. Now, before she tells you what all of those items have in common, why don't you call it out to us? What do you think? How are they all alike? Hey, I hear some good answers, good guesses. Mariah, do you want to tell them really loudly how all of these things are alike?
They protect us.
All right, good job. Mariah, we'll see you later. Thanks for coming to help us today. And if you didn't hear her, she said they're all things that protect us. That umbrella protects us from the rain. The sunscreen and the sunglasses protect us from the rays of the sun. A life preserver helps us and protects us from drowning if we fall into the water or fall off the side of a boat. And so you guys now know that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about protection and how God protects us, even in situations where we're worried about things or scared about things. And today we're going to look at a sea creature that God created to protect itself, and also a cool way that it protects its babies. So you guys know, sea creatures, just like most animals that God created in nature, He had to create them with different abilities or different special qualities that they could have for protection, because we know that these sea creatures taste yummy to a lot of other sea creatures, right? And so God has to protect them. And the sea creature we're going to look at today, its inside is very soft and it's very yummy to other sea creatures. So God had to be creative and make a really strong outside. And that outside is super tough and it's super strong. And it protects that sea creature. And the sea creature can also live for a small amount of time outside of the water. And that sea creature will leave the water to go onto the shore to lay its eggs in a special way so that the babies are safe. What sea creature do you think we're going to talk about today? It's the sea turtle. Sea turtles are amazing. They're super huge, they're super strong, and they're super amazing. So you guys, we're going to view a quick video about sea turtles, and then you're going to join me back for the rest of our lesson. I'll see you in just a minute.
Sea turtles. Sea turtles are turtles that live in the sea. They can be found in most oceans, but they especially love warm, shallow water. Male sea turtles spend their whole life in the sea, so they're great swimmers. Their flippers are perfectly designed to glide them through the water. Females are great swimmers also, and only go on the land to lay eggs. They lay lots of eggs in sandy beach nests. When the cute little turtles hatch, they race to the water. Look at them go. What else can you notice about this sea turtle? That's right. Sea turtles have hard shells for protection. Their shells are very strong. Did you know leatherback sea turtles grow so big that they're as heavy as a small car, longer than a grown man, and can swim as deep as a submarine? Sea turtles eat everything from seagrass to jellyfish. Chomp, chomp, chomp. But sometimes they confuse plastic bags with food. So be careful where you throw your rubbish.
What a cool video. You guys, I have to tell you the truth. Some of my favorite creatures in the whole world are sea creatures. So I really like this series that we're doing. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. So sea turtles, amazing. The mama is able to leave the water for a short amount of time, go into land, and with those huge, powerful flippers, she digs into the sand, lays her eggs, and buries them. And just at the right time, when God's ready for those little eggs to hatch, those little hatchlings run quick at night when they hatch. And they run quickly into the ocean, and they're safe to live there. Isn't that cool? And sea creatures like turtles that have those hard outsides, man, those shells are strong and tough. But no other shell sea creature stands up to the sea turtle, and I'll tell you why. That shell could have 200 times its weight riding on it. So like if a huge sea creature came and landed on top of the turtle, it would totally be okay. And do you know, before that shell could break or snap or crack, it would take thousands of pounds of pressure. It would be like your mom or dad's car sitting on top of the sea turtle, and the shell would still protect that sea turtle. God is amazing with his design. God is amazing in the ways that he chooses to protect even animals. You know, we are, of course, a much higher creation than animals, and God protects us each day. What about that protective layer that he places around the universe, around the earth for us? The atmosphere, right? It protects us from not allowing things to come in that would hurt us or even kill us. And we're going to see even another fun way in a few minutes with an experiment of how God surrounds us and God protects us. So the Bible tells us that if we choose to live for Jesus, if we choose to worship him and to obey him and follow him and enter into a relationship, a friendship with him, where we're living for him every day and we're following him, that he puts that protective coating around us and that God puts his protective hand over us. What about some of the lessons that we've talked about in the last couple of months of how God showed his protection for people in the Bible? We have Daniel in the lion's den. What about baby Moses when he was put into the Nile River? Or even when Moses was a grown man and he was leading his people out of slavery, and God protected them from Pharaoh's army by allowing the Red Sea to part into walls of water, right? What about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace? God protected them, just like he protected Daniel from the lion's den, because they stood up for what is right. You guys, all throughout the Bible, we can see examples of how God will protect us. And I'm going to give you guys a challenge. And this challenge today is going to be something that your parents could help you with as well, or a grandparent or another adult. And those of you that are older, you'll be able to do it on your own. But that challenge is for you to get out a sheet of paper and a pencil or a pen, and I want you to write down some things that scare you or that you're worried about. So you could either pause the video and do it now, or you can do it after we're finished. Any time that's good for you, but I really want you to take up this challenge. And I already did this in my notebook at home. I wrote down some things, and I actually had a lot. There were about 12 things that I'm either worried about, or I'm scared about, or things that scare me, that frighten me. And you guys, especially right now with our time, right, that we're living in, there's a lot of scary things that we hear adults talking about, or we're watching on the news, or we know what's happening with the coronavirus and riots and people hurting one another and wars and fighting. All of these things can put pressure upon us to be scared and to be worried and to wonder, is God still there? Is God going to keep me safe? Maybe you're scared of things like the dark, right? A lot of us are scared of the dark. Or maybe you're scared school won't start back in a classroom when school starts, or you're worried you won't see some of your friends again. Maybe you're scared because someone you know is sick. There's always things in our life that we worry about or that scare us. But you guys, God has given us a promise that He will protect us, that He will take care of us. If God knows how to protect a sea turtle, if God knows how to protect the atmosphere, the world, the earth, He knows how to protect you and I, and He will do it. So your second challenge is, after you get out that sheet of paper and you list some things that you're scared about or worried about, I want you to have an adult help you read a book of the Bible. And that chapter is found in the Bible book of Psalms, and it's chapter 91, 9:1. There's only a few verses there, but do you know this incredible chapter that King David wrote talks about when he is scared and when he is afraid and when he is worried? Those verses tell us what God will do, how God protects. Like I said, there's only about 9 verses there. Have an adult help you read it and see the Bible promise that God has given to stay with us and to protect us. In Psalms 91, my favorite verse there is verse 4. And I want you to listen to what it says. It says, God's huge outstretched arms are like wings. They will protect you, and under them you will be perfectly safe. Hey guys, man, I love that verse. Did you hear it? That God's huge outstretched arms are like wings, and when we're under them, we are going to be perfectly safe. You guys, we have to make sure our heart and our mind, our souls are right with the Lord, right? Now that doesn't mean that you might not fall down and skin your knee and get a little hurt. But God's protecting you. He's keeping you safe. He's keeping His eye on you, His hands, His arms, His wings above you. And He's keeping us safe day by day by day, and He's protecting us. You guys, it's so important to trust that God will protect you, right? We trust that our umbrella that Mariah had earlier will protect you from the rain. We trust when we put on our sunglasses that it will protect us from the sun. We trust when we get in our cars and put on our seatbelt that it will protect us from an accident or from getting hurt in an accident. Let's take that same trust and put it in God, trusting that He will take care of us. I want you guys to move on over to our science card. You guys, you know we use this a lot on Wednesdays and on Sundays. And what I have here is a bowl of water. This is just plain water, but I put a little bit of blue coloring in it so that you could see it better. And this blue water, this bowl of water, is just going to represent life. Like life itself, the good that comes, the bad that comes, the scary that comes. And you know, when we try to do life ourself or our own, and that's what this paper towel is going to represent, sometimes when we dive in and just do things on our own, it doesn't maybe come out the way we want it, right? And maybe it comes out like this: drippy, soggy, messy. And you can see all of those things maybe that we worry about or we're scared about or things that could hurt us. Do you see how it kind of just overtakes us? Right? And that is why God wants us to call out to Him and to trust Him, right? To protect us. And so this empty cup is going to represent God, right? And again, remember, the paper towels represent us. And so now, instead of dipping the paper towel, just us alone, into the world, we're going to dip ourselves into God, because we have that relationship with Him. We're living for Him, we're obeying Him, we're worshiping Him, we're praying, we're thankful to Him, we love Him, right? And He is surrounding our life each day. Now, if we now dip ourselves into the world, you can see that nothing will happen to us. And you might say, well, that was pretty easy, Miss Vicki, because no water can get into the cup, right? And God's protecting us that way. But what if our life is like it kind of is now? Really topsy-turvy, scary things happening, frightening things, things that make us worry, and our life feels like it's just upside down, right? So now, what if I take our life, surrounded still by God, even in this topsy-turvy, upside-down life, and I turn us upside down in the water? What do you think is going to happen? All that water is probably going to come in and still get us, right? Look, it doesn't at all. Not one single drop. Even when our life is so topsy-turvy, upside down, it's because we have that protection from God. You guys, this week, thank God for protecting you. And make sure that you take time to reach out to God and tell him, I want you to surround me. I want you to protect me, to guide me, to direct me. I want to be your best friend, God. Right? I want that relationship with you. And thank him. Thank him for protecting you and your family each day. Thank him for creating you special, creating you unique, just like these sea creatures we're going to look at each week. I love you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you next week. Come back to see what other sea creature we're going to learn from and see what God has for us. You guys have a great week. Enjoy your summer. Love you guys.